Shalom and welcome to Hebrew Foundations. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and pivotal stories in the Torah, the life of Isaac and Rebekah, and the early years of Esau and Jacob leading up to the dramatic moment when Jacob deceives his father and flees for his life. This story is filled with sublime prophecy, family dynamics, deception, and Yahuah's sovereign plan unfolding despite human actions. Let's walk through this account, exploring the key moments that led to Jacob's departure. Before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help us spread this important message. A heartfelt thank you to those who continue to support this ministry. May Yahuah bless you abundantly. Parents, we encourage you to use this video as a teaching tool for your children. Now, let's begin. After Sarah's death, Abraham sought a wife for his son, Isaac. He sent his servant to his homeland, instructing him to find a wife from his own people. The servant prayed for a sign, and Yahuah answered. Rebekah appeared at the well and showed kindness by watering his camels. Rebekah willingly left her family to marry Isaac. Their union was sublimely orchestrated, and through it, Yahuah's promise to Abraham continued. Rebekah, like Sarah before her, struggled with barrenness. Isaac prayed for her, and Yahuah blessed them with twins. However, even in the womb, the two children wrestled within her. Yahuah responded with a prophecy. 2 nations are in your womb. One people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. When the time came, Rebekah gave birth to Esau first, red and hairy. Jacob followed, grasping Esau's heel, symbolizing the struggle that would define their lives. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them, showing that Yahuah's promise was fulfilled in his perfect timing. As the boys grew, Esau became a skilled hunter, a man of the field, while Jacob was a quiet man, dwelling in tents. One day, Esau came in from the field exhausted and found Jacob cooking a stew. Esau, overcome with hunger, asked Jacob for some of the red stew. Jacob saw an opportunity and said, "Sell me your birthright first." Esau, thinking little of his birthright, agreed, saying, "What good is a birthright if I die of hunger?" He swore an oath, selling his birthright for a simple meal. This moment revealed Esau's indifference to his inheritance and Jacob's desire to receive the promise. Her famine struck the land, similar to the one in Abraham's time. Isaac went to Gerar to speak with Abimelech, king of the Philistines. Yahuah appeared to Isaac and told him not to go to Egypt, but to stay in the land where he would bless him. Out of fear, Isaac told the Philistines that Rebekah was his sister, just as his father Abraham had done with Sarah. However, Abimelech saw Isaac showing affection to Rebekah and confronted him, saying, "Why did you say she was your sister? One of my men might have taken her, and you would have brought guilt upon us." Isaac admitted his fear, and Abimelech ordered his people not to harm them. Yahuah blessed Isaac greatly, and he became very prosperous, causing envy among the Philistines. They stopped up his father's wells, and eventually Abimelech asked Isaac to leave. Isaac moved to the valley of Gerar, reopened the wells of Abraham, and found fresh water. After disputes with the Philistines over the wells, he finally dug one that was uncontested and named it Rehoboth, meaning Yahuah has made room for us. Later, Isaac went to Beersheba, where Yahuah reaffirmed his promise. Abimelech then came to make a peace treaty, acknowledging that Yahuah was with Isaac. Meanwhile, Esau took 2 Hittite wives, which brought grief to Isaac and Rebekah. Isaac, now old and nearly blind, called for Esau, his eldest son, to prepare him a meal so that he could bless him. Rebekah overheard this and, remembering Yahuah's prophecy, devised a plan to secure the blessing for Jacob. Rebekah prepared a meal, dressed Jacob in Esau's clothing, and covered his hands and neck with goatskins. Though hesitant, Jacob obeyed his mother's instructions and approached Isaac. Isaac, though suspicious, felt Jacob's hands and declared,
"The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's."
Convinced, he blessed Jacob, saying,
"May Yahuah give you the dew of heaven, the fatness of the earth, and let people serve you. Be master over your brethren."
Shortly after, Esau returned from his hunt and prepared the meal for his father. When he approached Isaac, expecting his blessing, Isaac trembled violently and said,
"Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I have already blessed him, and indeed he shall be blessed."
Upon hearing these words, Esau let out a loud and bitter cry, saying,
"Bless me too, my father."
But Isaac replied,
"Your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing."
Esau pleaded.
"Have you not reserved any blessing for me?"
But Isaac answered,
"I have made him master over you and given him all his brothers as servants. I have sustained him with grain and wine. What is left for me to give you, my son?"
Esau wept and said,
"Do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me too."
Then Isaac gave Esau a lesser blessing, saying he would dwell away from the richness of the land and live by the sword. From that moment, Esau held a grudge against Jacob and vowed to kill him after their father's death. Fearing for Jacob's life, Rebekah urged him to flee to her brother Laban in Haran until Esau's anger subsided. Before Jacob left, Isaac reaffirmed the Abrahamic blessing upon him, saying,
"May Al Shaddai bless you and make you fruitful, that you may be an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and your descendants with you, that you may inherit the land, in which you are a stranger, which Yahuah gave to Abraham."
With that, Jacob set off for Haran, beginning the next chapter of his journey. This story teaches us about faith, destiny, and the sovereignty of Yahuah. Despite human deception and conflict, Yahuah's plan prevailed. Jacob's journey was just beginning, and through him, the 12 tribes of Israel would emerge. Now for a quick Hebrew word study on the word Bekhor, which is H1060 in the Strong's Concordance, meaning firstborn, eldest of men, women and animals, one who opens the womb. The root word is Bakar, H1069, meaning to be born first. Looking at the pictograph, meaning for Bekhor, we have Beit, which represents a house, family, household or lineage. Kaf, which represents the open palms and means to tame or subdue. War, which represents a tent peg, meaning to add, connect or secure. Resh, which represents the head, first leader or chief. We can arrive at the following possible interpretation: the family being subdued and secured by the firstborn, or the household inheritance, authority and leadership will be added to the first. The firstborn son in Hebrew culture was significant for several reasons. Traditionally, the firstborn received a double portion of the inheritance: the responsibility of leadership in the family after the father, the spiritual blessing and covenant promises, particularly in patriarchal lineages. Esau was the natural Bekhor, but he despised his birthright or Bekhorah by selling it to Jacob for a meal. The word for birthright is Bekhorah, which is H1062, which refers to the right of the firstborn to the physical inheritance and leadership of the family after the father passes. Jacob, though the younger son, obtained the Bekhorah or birthright and later the blessing or Berakah from Isaac. Blessing or Berakah is H1293, refers more to the spiritual blessing, favor and prosperity bestowed by Yahuah or a patriarch, rather than just material inheritance. This event fulfilled Yahuah's prophecy. the older shall serve the younger. The story shows how Yahuah chooses based on purpose rather than natural birth order, a pattern seen throughout Scripture. In Scripture, we also see Yasharal as Yahuah's firstborn. In Exodus 4:22 it reads, "And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus says Yahuah, Yasharal is my son, even my firstborn." We also in Colossians 1:15 that Yahusha is referenced as the firstborn over all creation. It reads, "He is the image of the invisible Elohim, the firstborn over all creation." Romans 8:29 refers to Mashiach as the firstborn among many brethren. And Revelation 1:5 we see Yahusha mentioned as the firstborn from the dead, showing us the resurrection power. There are countless scriptures related to the firstborn, far more than we can cover in this teaching. We encourage you to continue your studies on this topic, seeking deeper understanding through prayer and the Word. The story of Jacob and Esau teaches that while being the firstborn in the flesh holds significance, being chosen by Yahuah is far greater. Esau was born first physically, but Jacob was spiritually appointed. This foreshadows how Yahuah selects those who cherish his covenant, making them his spiritual firstborn. If this teaching blessed you, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All praise to the Most High, Yahuah. Shalom.